Mischa Barton was born January 24, 1986 in Hammersmith, London, England, to Noala Quinn Barton and Paul Marsden Barton. Mischa grew up with a few notable child stars, including Lindsay Lohan and Lacey Chabert. Mischa began her career in theater, appearing in Tony Kushner's Slavs and James Lapine's 12 Dreams. Mischa made her screen debut with a guest appearance on All My Children and with a voice acting gig on the Nickelodeon cartoon Kablam! A few years later, Mischa had a couple of roles in some notable films such as Notting Hill, an indie crime drama Pups, and one of her most classic roles in M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense. But it wasn't until 2003 that Mischa would break out onto the Hollywood scene, playing girl next door Marissa Cooper on the hit Fox drama The O.C. The role brought a then 17-year-old Mischa into mainstream fame, so much so that Entertainment Weekly named her the It Girl of 2003. It seemed as though it could only get better from there, right? Yeah. If only. The O.C. follows Ryan Atwood, a young man from a broken home who was adopted by a wealthy family living in Orange County, California. There he meets girl next door Marissa Cooper, played by Mischa Barton. Marissa was among the original core 4 characters on the O.C., the 3 others being Ryan Atwood, played by Ben McKenzie, Seth Cohen, played by Adam Brody, and Summer Roberts, played by Rachel Bilson. On the show, Mischa was the only actor who played a character that was close to her real-life age, the rest of the cast being in their early to late 20s. During the peak of her career, she was invited to the most prestigious Hollywood events, such as the Emmys and the Golden Globes, even though the O.C. was never nominated for those awards. During the show's 3rd season, Mischa was becoming exhausted with starring on the show. She said, "I think I just got to the point where I was like, I'm not sure I'm enjoying this anymore." She said, "I just felt like I was in a machine and I couldn't really get off, so it was time to step back." Mischa decided to move back to England, and with that, Marissa Cooper was killed off the O.C. Her death remains one of the saddest and most memorable pop culture moments of all time. During the O.C.'s final season, Teen Vogue put Mischa on the cover of its Young Hollywood issue, naming her as one of 23 rising stars. But that May, Mischa, who had meanwhile returned to Hollywood, made tabloid headlines after she was hospitalized after falling ill at Nicole Richie's Memorial Day barbecue. POPICANA made a video about the whole ordeal, so if you really are interested in it and want to know more, I suggest you go watch it. I'll leave the link in the description. Mischa's rep said that she suffered an adverse reaction after consuming a few cocktails along with prescription antibiotics she was taking for bronchitis. In December of 2007, Mischa was arrested for driving under the influence in West Hollywood. She was given 36 months probation, alcohol education classes, and a fine as part of a plea deal. Soon after her arrest, Mischa told Ryan Seacrest on his radio show, "Obviously, I'm 100% responsible for my actions in this case, and I'm really disappointed in myself. I don't know what to say about it except I'm not perfect. I just don't ever intend to do something this stupid again." She also told Nylon magazine, "That was a low point for me. I never ever would have thought I would be arrested. I was disappointed because it associated me with a group of girls I would rather not be associated with. That was the biggest bummer for me. I didn't leave my house. I was too embarrassed. They made such a big deal out of it with these other young actresses that for a little bit, I wanted to crawl into a hole and die." By 2008, Mischa became a tabloid favorite. Mischa started attracting more paparazzi, who would sell unflattering candid swimsuit photos of her to tabloids. That same year, Mischa took on the cover of Maxim magazine and declared that she would be taking on the big screen. In 2009, Mischa made negative headlines when she reportedly caused some drama at a Miss 60 fashion show during New York Fashion Week by sending staff scrambling to find her a different outfit after she arrived in one that was too sheer. "She's a royal pain in the ass," one staffer complained. "We sent all these clothes over and she ends up wearing nothing." Mischa ultimately agreed to put on a scarf to cover herself up. Meanwhile, Mischa continued to showcase more racy looks. She wore lingerie on the cover of FHM magazine, which teased that the actress, quote, "needs a little help with her clothes." That same year, Mischa signed on to star in Ashton Kutcher's new Model World-themed drama series, The Beautiful Life. That July, Mischa was hospitalized in a psych ward. She remained mum on the reason, while a source told E! News that she was admitted for suicidal actions. After being discharged from the hospital, Mischa didn't join her co-stars at a key promotional event for The Beautiful Life. That September, Mischa appeared on The View and gave a confusing explanation about her hospitalization, saying she had a tooth infection and tried to numb the pain with painkillers. Then she felt completely overwhelmed by everything going on in her life. She said, when they take you into the hospital for something when it goes really wrong, if you're having a meltdown and you say something like, I feel like I want to die, they start injecting you with things to calm down, like I'm petrified of needles, like absolutely petrified. I just figure that if you hit rock bottom like that and you're around people you realize I'm nothing like these people. I have a career. I worked so hard for it. I'm such a positive person. I think you can overcome anything. And for me, having that kind of chronic pain for the first time in my life, like being in serious pain, was such a wake-up call. That same month, Mischa's TV comeback was squashed. The Beautiful Life was canceled after 2 episodes. After that, Mischa kind of disappeared from the scene, occasionally popping up in the headlines once or twice. However, in April of 2015, it was revealed that Mischa was suing her mother, Nuala, her former manager, for breach of oral contract and fraudulent misrepresentation, claiming she lied about the amount of money the actress was being paid for a 2013 film and pocketed the difference. In March of 2016, Mischa competed on Dancing with the Stars and was the second celebrity contestant to be eliminated. She told The Ringer, I had no idea it would be so bad. I got told off by my dancer. I was supposed to control the costumes. I was told that I could do the design aspect of it. That's kind of the reason why I agreed to do it. That didn't happen. It wasn't collaborative like a choreographer on a film set. I was so confused by it. It was like the Hunger Games. It was all a popularity contest. It was awful. I was so glad to get kicked off. In January of 2017, Mischa was hospitalized after a neighbor called 911 to report that she was behaving erratically. She later said that medical staff told her she was given the date rape drug GHB. She told Dr. Phil, I think it was a complete hallucination. I have no idea what I was talking about. Before I blacked out and don't remember anything, it was more auditory and visual, but more visual, like specks of light and stuff like that. There's also blackout parts earlier in the night, and then I'll remember my friend saying, please lay down and then it'll be gone again, and the whole thing outside is just blackouts. In March of that year, at a press conference with her lawyer, Mischa confirmed an ex had filmed an explicit video of her without her consent, and that the images were being shopped around. Mischa obtained restraining orders against 2 exes who she has not named publicly. Mischa said, I came forward to fight this not only for myself, but for all the women out there. I want to protect them from the pain and humiliation that I had to go through. No woman should have to go through this, and I am beyond grateful to Lisa Bloom, the Bloom firm, and to all my friends who have helped me through this horrific experience. It is a very hard thing to do, but I am glad that I am finally standing up for myself.
It's amazing how different I feel from when we started this case. It's like night and day. I truly do feel stronger and victorious.
In 2019, it was revealed that Mischa would be joining the cast of The Hills reboot, The Hills: New Beginnings. Mischa seems to be doing pretty well. It looks like she's staying out of trouble and drama. Okay, just a little bit. But seriously, it's nice to see Mischa happy and healthy and staying out of the party scene. I hope to see her acting more. I know she had a small role in the Joe Keery horror film Spree, so it finally looks like Mischa is getting back to where she started. I truly believe that if Mischa grew up a few years after the OC, she would be just like Blake Lively. I think Mischa was just misunderstood, exploited, and bullied. I'm looking at you, Perez Hilton. I hope that wherever Mischa is, she's having a great day.